produce in the fields to make ends meet. In Fresno, California, I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
And in Los Angeles, I'm David Brancaccio. You're listening to the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
Good morning. This is meteorologist Russ Murley with your WTJX local forecast for Thursday, the 6th of November. Sunshine, partly sunny at times today with isolated showers, middle to upper 80s, east to southeast winds at 5 to 15. We'll see a few clouds, isolated showers, 78 to 82 tonight. Sunshine, partly sunny at times with a risk of afternoon showers tomorrow, middle to upper 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. There's a continued chance of showers, nighttime lows near 80. Looking forward to Saturday, partly sunny with spotty showers, temperatures middle to upper 80s. Rip current risk will increase the next few days. Coming up, Rita is left heartbroken after Pedro's announcement on Velvet tonight at 9 p.m. on WTJX TV, Channel 12.
WTJX 93.1 Charlotte Amalia, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters. The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This.
And good Thursday morning, and welcome to another edition of Analyze This here on your NPR station in the U.S. Virgin Islands, WTJX FM 93.1. We're yours truly, Neville James. Beautiful day in paradise. Look outside, we can actually see the outline for the Northern Virgins, which is good. I mean, it's a hard dust tapering off as we get deeper down into the year. Let's get right to it. We got the Virgin Islands Police Department in the studio. We also have them calling in from St. Thomas. I believe Chief Hodge going to be calling in second segment. All the big shots here. So let me introduce them, starting with the Chief. Uston Cornelius. Good morning, Chief. How are you?
Good morning, Senator. Good morning. Good morning, community. This is your Chief of Police, Uston Cornelius.
Deputy Chief, bearing my initials, Naomi Joseph. Good morning, Deputy Chief. How are you?
Good morning, Neville. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
I
want to see you, I don't see your father, right?
Been a while, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Been a while.
Good morning, St. Croix, St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you for at least listening in, and we hope to be able to pass some good information on to you.
Got town hall meeting set up, Chief?
Yes. You got a good team in myself and the good Deputy Chief there, and she came to me.
Who met who in the police department?
One more time, Senator.
Who met who in the police department?
I met the good deputy in the Virgin Islands Police Department.
So you got some manners even though you got a title, you got some manners for the rank for the longest standing. I can't say ranking because you're the chief and she's the deputy chief, but the longest standing member of the police department.
I got a wall of respect for this young lady you see sitting here as our deputy chief of police. When I came in, this young lady here was she was the president of the union at the time. Mm-hmm. And as a young soldier, she was dealing with the Martin Luther King March and stuff like that. And I like history. So I eventually just went right behind her in the march and all the different things that she was doing. And from then I just grew mad respect for her.
Deputy Chief, how many years you got in the police department?
39, February gonna make 40.
Is it over at that point or what?
You never know. Life is, you know how life is, you know. I want to say I walking out the door at 40. But you never know what happens. I know I got till 65, and then they say I can't be a police anymore. I still got a little bit of time to get there.
You could tell them that you and I were boys club members when we were babies a long time ago.
We were young, yeah.
Those are the good old days.
It sure was.
Deputy Chief.
Had Bob Owens and yeah.
The bakery and the canna. When you come down the hill from what was the old Crucian moon?
Yes.
Across from St. Croix Avis, and you come down and had a stoplight. Remember, you got a stoplight.
You used to have a stoplight right there, yes.
You had to actually stop. If you're driving down into town, you have to actually stop where the bakery is now, right? Because you have to leave room for the big truck them to navigate.
To swing the canna, yes.
So, and that's how police work,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Good. So the Tongue Hamiltons, Chief. Well, first of all, how's the police department doing? In your estimation?
To me, I think we're coming along. We're still trying to get it a little better, but we're coming along.
What's the status for workforce?
In terms of manpower?
And woman power.
Oh, boy.
We got more woman than man.
But the level that we would like to see it at, we are not there. When I came in and I saw the good deputy, we had, put it this way, every shift that we had for the 3 shift, you could look at 15 to 20 men strong, men and women strong. Right now, we don't have that. And with the little bit that we have, we're trying to make do and make sure we protect and serve this community as we add technology to try and get us to where we were back in those days. Deputy?
That's true. We're hoping that, well, I know the demise of our recruitment started when we started inventing all these different police departments within all these agencies. So they work from 8 to 4. They have to work weekends. They don't have to work shift. You know, that's a better job. You get more time with your family and you do what you want. Versus the rigid type rules and your lifestyle that exists within the police department that sounds more attractive. We might be able to make more money because of the amount of hours that we put in, but they put less hours in, and as soon as we get an increase, they are brought up to be comparable to us. So we're really competing against a lot, but at the end of the day, when anything happens, they don't call those police, they call this police department. We're the primary, we got to get there, resolve whatever issues, and try to render help as much as we can. And when it goes farther than just a simple case to something major, there's no other agency but VIPD. So VIPD needs the additional manpower, and we're trying with our recruitment to do that. And every day we come out here, we try our best to represent the department as best as we can, hoping that it might make somebody think, well, I want to be like her, I want to be like him, you know, so it can't hurt.
As recent as last week, Friday, Senator, I had the opportunity to go to Watch Me Grow Academy. And we had a kindergarten student, and it was career day for that school. And after we interacted with those kindergarten students, that child went home and tell his grandmother he wanted to be a police. Those are the things we're trying to do, as the deputy say, with recruitment and trying to let people see, hey, we're trying to do the right thing. You could do the right thing and represent your community. And that one by one, we're going to try to trickle it in and build it back, hopefully, to where it was. Now, you know, these youngsters, they're into technology and all these different things. So when we go to the schools, some youngsters might watch and say, I don't want to be no police on the street patrolling and this and that. But when we start to let them know the different branches or areas that they could go, they're like, why I didn't know I had that? Some people didn't even know we had a marine unit. We got boats. You go out to the sea and you patrol on the sea. Some children didn't know that we have a drone program. You could fly drone and get information for the investigation bureau. Some people don't know we have a traffic division. All you're doing is handling accidents for the most part. Some people, and all the different agencies, we try to bring it out so that they know, and maybe that might enlighten them, encourage them to come in. You got a forensics unit. We're going to Complex, Central High, and we talk to the older students. And a lot of our students are interested in forensics. It's amazing. The youngest that we went to last year, we went to Paul B. And we put on the gown, and the children let them put on the gloves and had them do fingerprinting, and it was like it was amazing to them. They really enjoyed it.
Look now, man. You ain't gonna come on my show. You go on my show and St. Croix deputy chief and allow the chief to say yeah on my show.
Hey, I'm a Virgin Islander senator. Barnes.
I talking to the deputy chief. You can't allow he to come on our show. This is our show. This man, the deputy chief.
All right, we NJ. Okay, go ahead.
I got he pronouncing the word yet.
Is that thing to me can't help?
My mic Ghana though.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah. No, I just teasing. Here's what I want to ask though. Infrastructurally, where's the department?
Well, we could do with a better building. We're trying our best to move somewhere else, and we're working on that. So hopefully by midsummer, we would be there. All of the buildings that we're in, infrastructure-wise, needs help. From the one down here, down the street, we need to relocate. It has water issues. We have basically outgrown the facility, and we have centralized now the patrol division, so we don't necessarily need big spaces as these satellite stations. Just some place for somebody to walk in, make a report. Probably a statement is taken or something to that effect, but not necessarily where we're going to hold roll call and officers are going to assemble. So we're working, we're going to be over in Hogansburg, and that's going to be our home until, I don't know, we finally get around to fixing what belongs to us, and it's named after Patrick Sweeney. So I just don't know the vision in there yet, but hopefully we'll get there. There is a lot of work that needs to be done. Our first goal is to build this partnership with the community for them to understand that policing can't happen with just a police force. Policing happens when all of us work together, and that's one of the big reasons why we're reaching out and asking the community to come, sit down, talk to us. Let we understand where your mindset is, so you could have an idea what we have, find out who is in charge of all these different divisions, meet your partners so that you understand that we can truly work together to solve crime, because I am not there. VIPD is not there when a man pull a gun and is firing shots. We're not there. We arrive after the fact. We have sound thinking, which is the shot spotters that's going to tell us that shots was discharged, but again, police aren't there. And so when we get there, we need to be able to interact with the community, and they need to understand that we have just as much at stake as they do. That when they bleed, we feel it. We understand when a mother is crying. You know, I always say, bad child, good child, that's still her child, and she wants justice. And so we want to be able to answer questions for family and bring quick closure, move faster with arrests, have the community understand that just talking to us is helpful. We have cameras out there that is helping us, and with them giving us the information we need, we're able to, harness what we can from the video cameras that exist, and all the other little technologies that we're bringing in to make crime fighting easier. It can't work without them, and so that's the reason why the town hall meetings. That's the reason why we want to sit down and have dialogue and really reintroduce ourselves to them and let them understand we are here for you, and together we can actually make St. Croix a better place.
What's your relationship with the Department of Justice? There was a time where
It's better than it was.
there were issues there because there were a lot of finger pointing, whether it be wrongfully or rightfully, as it relates to protecting evidence, things of that nature, right? So what's your relationship right now with the Department of Justice?
Well, in regards to protecting evidence, I think we are doing a lot better than some agencies on the mainland. I think my forensic unit and my property room are top-notch. We have shortages with our ballistic expert passed away, so we're trying to build that gap in between there. We reach out to Puerto Rico. In regards to the Attorney General's office and VIPD, with everything that, is at work, we're trying our best to work closer, and they have extended that olive branch to do the same thing with us. Of course, they don't have enough attorneys, so we do have backlogs in cases. And so, at the end of the day, when you have a case and you have what you think you need for an arrest and the AG just isn't moving as swift as you would like to, there is issues on that front. But we're hoping that with the new AG, I think he's pushing towards trying to resolve that problem, and he's trying to hire new people. So we're hoping that effort would allow us to foster even better relationship.
Chief, one of the, I want to use the right word, realities that I learned sitting right here talking to the former commissioner was the criminal element are always looking for ways to circumvent the process. Assembling weapons now, getting parts through the mail and all that stuff, that's still going on?
Yes.
Yes.
And how do we go about, what do we, well, I don't want you to give away your
the mail is the feds, right?
agency.
And we have the partnership with them. So what they're doing their part in terms of checking the mail as it's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say, those guys have retrieved parts, weapons that were coming in, and they're doing it daily. So we're trying. We continue to try.
No.
Let me also let you know, Senator, the deputy spoke about Patrick Sweeney. For history, I know you're a history guy too. The 27th of October is when Patrick Sweeney was injured and he died. So I just wanted to make sure the 27th of October just passed is when he passed away. Okay, and the deputy spoke about
that's almost 50 years though.
The deputy spoke
I
about
had to age you, eh?
Well,
I was in that Elena Christian school and saw it happen.
I was up the hill at St. Dunstan's when it happened. You know
I
what
was
I'm saying?
there, literally. Me and Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, yeah. Galimbo being there?
Yeah, Galimbo was in the office.
Yeah.
When I went to the office, he was under the desk.
Wow.
she spoke about technology. And for the community, some people will say, well, Cornelius, deputy, don't be telling them. We want them to know. I just came back from IACP. That's the International Associations of Chief of Police conference that they had. And I was fortunate to watch the different new equipment that's coming in. And I am proud to say, with sitting down with the deputy, the commissioners and stuff, we put our heads together and we wanted this department to go forward in that area. And we're going to be having drones placed in 3 different strategic areas on St. Croix so that we could get live feed. When something happened, the drone is going to go straight to that location, and as we reach there or getting there, we're getting live information as to what's going on. That's starting from right now in this month. We have our crime center going up. More cameras are going to be added onto our roadways in the towns. We have 23 more cameras going up in Frederickstead, 23 more coming up in Christianstead. This island gonna start, these islands gonna start to get better. And all we want our people to do is continue to walk with us so we could get answer us when something happened. Go ahead now, Senator.
No, we're going to a break, so I just want to let the public know we're talking with the Virgin Islands Police Department this morning. We got the St. Croix Chief, Uston Cornelius, here in the studio, along with Deputy Chief Naomi Joseph. We'll take a break when we come back. Chief Deborah Hodge can be joining us from St. Thomas. And I believe we got somebody else going to be joining us in the third segment. So we'll take a break. Be back right after this. And we're back here. I analyze this. We got the Virgin Islands Police Department in the studio, and now joining us on the line. It's my understanding that Chief of Police for the St. Thomas St. John District, Ms. Deborah Hodges, on the line. Good morning, Chief. How are you?
Good morning. I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Also joined by hold on a second, Deputy Chief Ray Aldana Stork. No, you haven't joined us yet. Okay. So, Chief, how's St. Thomas St. John?
St. Thomas St. John is doing great. We have our issues, but all in all, we're pushing forward.
Don't act like a stranger, you know, Chief. You know, we go way back, okay? Me, you, Uston, Naomi, Ala, we grew up together here on St. Croix. What's the biggest challenges facing the St. Thomas St. John district as it relates to policing?
As it relates to policing, currently what we are experiencing right now on St. Thomas is an increase in armed robberies, and that's what we're focusing right now. We also have an increase in traffic accidents, so we want to talk a little bit about that, so that we can let the community know exactly what we're experiencing and how they can help us as we also help ourselves.
No, when Mandingo came out with that song back in 1983, traffic tight, 42 years later, we still got traffic tight in St. Thomas, Chief Hatch?
Well, I think it's a little better. I mean, it's seasonal. I mean, if we have if we have a lot of cruise ships in, the traffic is usually tighter. But, our engineers have done a little work on the road, so, it's a little better in just generally speaking. But all in all, it's mostly negligence. People are just impatient. People are, I notice, very lawless when it comes to traffic. People want to run the light. They're talking on the phone.
I see something yesterday. I see something. I don't mean to cut you out. I see something yesterday here on Sync, right there by Saint Farm, right? One of the things, right? And I'm going to use a personal experience that maybe we could apply here in the Virgin Islands. Deputy chief, and chief, respectively. When you're driving in New York, right, and you come into a stoplight, you actually have to measure. Can I clear the crossing traffic before the light turns yellow?
You getting a ticket in the me?
right. And I don't think we incorporate that enough here in the Virgin Islands. For example, right, and picture this. I come in from Schuster's direction to meet the Saint Farm intersection, right? Right?
Okay.
And the light at that corner, when you got traffic from all directions, is sequential, right?
Right.
So here's what happened. The longest light is east-west on Center Line Road. So what happens is the traffic that get back up by Plaza, and it works its way all the way back to the intersection.
Right.
You literally had a driver who believed that they should have been green. Right? That's what they believe. They believed that they should have been green. They were 2 cars deep. The light turned red, and they meant that they were going through the light after it turned red, while people was trying to go across from my direction and come across from Saint Farm into the area that I go into. We really got a traffic problem here in the Virgin Islands.
Yeah, it's a
Chief
clear
Hutch.
indication of lawlessness, though. They don't have any respect for the road. And, the disturbing thing is that we have seen so many people lose their lives or contribute to somebody else losing their life. And it does. They cry a little bit on social media, and then they go right back into the same habits. So I know that we need to have more traffic enforcement, but at the same time, people need to really recognize, the consequences of this type of behavior on the roadway.
Let me throw this in here, Senator.
Yes, Chief.
A year ago, we sat down with some individuals from the mainland, and they're supposed to come in and put up the red light camera to deal with this type of situation. But it's just, again, with the monies and all that's going on, I guess it's on hold for now, but that is a next piece of technology that your Virgin Islands Police Department was looking into. Will that
give the police department the ability to fine and sanction without being physically present there, and have the ability to ticket them, cite them for breaking a law in that regard?
Well, yeah, that's the
That's
objective.
the direction we want to go in.
Okay.
That's what was supposed to happen. So when that individual didn't clear the light in the time that he was supposed to, it would have taken his picture. The information would have...
I pay that penalty with Hertz all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got respect the light now, because I will get that $75, $97 bill.
In New York is
down the road.
$125. I got one, and I was like, what? What did I do? The light was yellow.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
but by the time I clear it, turned red.
So the technology is forthcoming.
That's where we, again,
Go on.
we sat down. The deputy, the chief in St. Thomas, Donnerstock, we all sat down, and these technology is where our mind went to try and better this place.
Okay.
And that's one.
That's good. Chief, tell me about St. John. How's St. John doing?
St. John has always been a little bit more calmer. We have a little sporadic incidents, but for the most part, like our deputy in St. John like to say, the country running good. So that's his famous line. Every time you ask him, the country running good. So, the community in St. John, they really help us a lot as far as giving information, because they are intent and keeping their little island safe. So a lot more cooperation there. But for the most part, there's still sporadic incidents.
What about the traffic in the roundabout area?
I think, it's so funny because I spoke with someone who lives there, and one issue that they encounter usually in those type of areas is people who trying to drive stick and don't know how to drive, and causing little accidents by not being able to maneuver properly. But for the most part, it's doing good.
Chief, you're telling our elders drive stick. I mean, lower people know stick. What's stick?
Manual.
I think that's a common terminology. Not automatic.
Okay.
Standard vehicle.
Manual.
Standard.
Well, ain't everybody could do it. It's true, ain't everybody could drive a standard, They get behind the wheel and they're trying to deal with a clutch and trying to, it's not the easiest thing, especially if you have never driven one. And you get to the incline and you got
in
to...
hilly areas.
Yeah.
And our areas are pretty hilly.
Yeah, you're trying to not roll back and hit the car behind you. Yeah, so it's problematic.
Talk about recruiting territory-wide, Chief Cornelius, because that is an issue, trying to build back up the force and get some long-term commitment, not just a job.
Well, I'll tell you, recruiting, we are working towards that. What kills us is the wait after we get the people in and ready to go, the wait to actually start the class. That's our problem. Deputy?
That's true, but again, like I said earlier, what we're competing against. So we training the same people for these different agencies.
When we say we, the academy.
VIPD Academy train these for these other agencies. So again, we're the only police department. We do everything. So we train them to be law enforcement officers, and they come in. My police officers who's coming to VIPD, watching marshals and what do you call them, for DPNR,
DLCA,
all these other agencies.
Legislature.
Legislature.
Know that, yes.
Yeah. And if you ask the people who work at the legislature, they'll tell you that's the best police department ever. But then again, all they're doing is walking around the facility. We have to cover the entire island of St. Croix.
Yeah, they have a small area of responsibility, and we're dealing with the 84 square mile island of St. Croix.
86.
You always with this 86.
Because Hess had 2.
Go ahead.
Hess added 2, so you got to add the 86 and call it that. 86.
But that's the dynamics that we deal with. Chief Hodge, anything from you?
Well, I think that when we created the outside agency law enforcement departments, initially they pulled from us to create them. Rarely the amount of people that they have just started from the bottom up in those areas. So we keep pulling from us to take to other agencies to create them. And then what happens is that they have smaller numbers, and there's always a need for us at VIPD to assist those areas because they're short. So we're stretched very thin, and all these shiny looking areas that are offering probably less work,
less hours.
Less hours. That's attractive to some people, especially if they have family or that's what their desire is. So we on the VIPD side need to recognize that we as police officers are our best recruiters, and we have to not recruit by holding a pole up and saying, hey, come to the VIPD, but we have to recruit with actions that are depictive of people that people want to join us. So we have to fix that. We have to fix how we look so that people would want to be police officers with the Virgin Islands Police Department. And I think that is our main goal. Make it what we do attractive, make what we do professional, and making what we do look like what we really are, second to none. Not thinking it's a joke. And sometimes we see it when people come to apply for the police department and not dress properly, not act as if they're in a real place. I don't, once I'm on that board, I let people know clearly this is a serious organization, And it's elite. And if you want to be part of it, you have to act as such. So I think we just have to change what we look like and what we portray so that we can attract more people.
And on the backdrop of what you asked about staying longer, the commissioner is thinking about some way where we could have the individuals have to put in time. If you want to leave, you're going to have to sign something to give us time.
I remember we're post certified, so that certification helpful for them when they leave from here. So we train them. They not pleased, they leave post certified and get a job anywhere in the mainland. And we're competing with a salary up there that is larger than what our starting pay is. So when you leave here making to a job that's going to pay you $75,000, $80,000 to start with, and you're here starting at what, 45? 40 something, you know, that's what we're competing with.
We're joined by Deputy Chief Real Donna Stork. Good morning, Deputy. How are you?
A pleasant good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing well.
I'd like to say a pleasant good morning to all the listeners.
Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been with the Virgin Islands Police Department for 23 years. I've been in several positions within the police department. I've been in K9. I've been in the tactical unit. I've been in the intelligence unit. I've been in the investigation bureau. I've been in the juvenile bureau. I've been quite a few places within the department that has really made me rounded. I really appreciate the training from the Virgin Islands Police Department. I enjoy going to work every day. I think it's a exciting moment. It's never a dull day at the VIPD, and I look forward to going to work every day. And as I came on, I'm hearing about recruitment, and I encourage others to come to the VIPD. However, we just don't want a bunch of people. We want quality people. We want people who want to make a difference in the Virgin Islands, who wants to enforce laws and make sure that order stays within the Virgin Islands. It's extremely important.
I got a text message on Deputy Chief Joseph because the chief mentioned Patrick Sweeney, October 27th, and they said they wanted to know the story. So without getting too personal and graphic,
In terms of what happened that day,
there was a shooting at the Elena Christian Junior High School.
there was.
This is in the late 70s, right?
You're
Thereabouts?
right. Yeah. So we were at
you were a
school.
student
I
at the
was a
time.
student at the Elena Christian Junior High School. There was a group of about 8 of us was talking to Mr. Rogers because we were trying to do a variety show. We was heading to the gym, so he could see what it is. What our vision was.
Mr. Rogers at the time, Jimmy Rogers was the assistant principal.
He was.
At Elena Christian.
Yes, he was. So Mr. Rogers was the assistant principal. Galimbo was the principal. And we traveled, me and Rogers and 7 others, we traveling down to the gym. And as we approached the last building, just before you cross over to go to the gym, we saw the perpetrator grabbing a fellow student. And she screamed and said, "Loose me." And Mr. Rogers said, "Loose a girl." And he said, "Jimmy Sheep, leave me alone." And then that's what they used to call it, Jimmy Sheep.
Yeah.
And next thing, Patrick Sweeney was over by the gym. He ran up. Mr. Rogers said, "Hold him."
He was VIPD security at the school.
He was a school resource officer at the school. And Mr. Rogers said, "Hold him." And as he reached to do that, a fight ensued between the two of them, and so two of them fighting. And so the other guy came from over and over towards the gym area, but more towards like going back down to Juanita Garden, because remember back then Juanita Garden and Elena Christian was one big campus with a wall in between.
Correct.
So he was over towards the wall area, and next thing I'm hearing shots being fired.
Yeah,
So
man.
we screaming and running. And we see Mr. Rogers got shot, and he, then the officer got shot, and it was just...
And that traumatized the
that
island,
was something else.
the island and the territory for a long time, because that type of thing never happened. You
in
know
the
what I'm saying?
school, and we saw that,
Yeah, that had to be rough.
So when you talk about Patrick Sweeney, that's a real experience.
Yeah.
I experienced. So, and you don't forget that.
And the,
Vivid to this day. I could remember it and see it as in front of me as
as
it
a result,
unfolded.
we named the headquarters here on St. Croix in his honor.
Yes, and the building sit there
The
in
building-
ruin.
Ruins, yeah. So we got to do something about that.
Yes.
Okay, do something about that. So that's the background. So we want to pay homage to Patrick Sweeney, who died during service.
Yes.
Right. Was a great Virgin Islander. And,
Yeah, just criminal.
yeah.
He wasn't even 2 years on the force.
Yeah. That's another story. So that's the background there. We'll take a break. Come back. We got some information about Frederickstead, right? With roadblocks and all that stuff. With the Navy ship down there. So we'll take a break. Be back right after this. And we're back here to analyze this. We've got the protectors of the people here in the studio. That's a terminology I used to use up on WTJX when Naomi and I were part of Abdul Ali Weekend Review Team and Jeremy Swan. Remember, he used to come in every Saturday.
Yes.
Right? So I would use that terminology, and he had like that. Give us an update as to Strand Street down in the west. Chief Cornelius, they got roadblocked down there because of some federal ships gonna be down there at the Ann Abramson port. Yes,
community. We are fortunate to have the Iwo Jima visiting our shores at 09:30 hours this morning. It should be docking. Now, with it being docked down there, if you're familiar with how we have the place blocked when we have ships, it will be mimicking that same thing.
Okay.
So as you come down Strand Street, we will have the area by First Bank, Strand Street and Market. That is going to have a barricade right there. So you will not be able to go further from Strand and Market. As you go down inside the barricaded area now, from Market and Strand, and you go down past Polly's and you work your way down towards where the old Scotia Bank or
Custom House area.
Or Wendy's.
Yeah.
We're going to have a barricade in that area also. So when we have the barricade there, only taxis and tours will be in that area to pick up the soldiers, to carry them wherever.
Okay.
The community will not be able to pass First Bank and right there by Strand and Market.
Okay.
If you coming down from Kentucky, what we did with the barricade being lower down by the center for the tourism area, you'll be able to make that turn to go around by Yucca and then come back on King Street.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay?
It's a loop.
Right.
Yeah.
You could just come in. We didn't want to block off the whole area and the public can't come in by Yucca. And, so we blocked it lower down by the old Scotia Bank and the tourism center, so that our community could continue to do what they need to do.
That's good. That's good sensitivity. Let's look towards the holiday season. Chief Hodge and Deputy Chief Donald Store, good morning once again for joining us. You got a couple of big events to take place annually in St. Thomas. The Miracle on Main Street, that's in effect for this year as well, Chief Hodge?
Yes, it is.
And are you done doing the logistical planning and all that stuff to deal with that?
We're working on Miracle on Main Street right now. We just got the date from the Chamber of Commerce, so we're working on that operational plan, yes.
Okay, good. That's typically middle of December, somewhere around there?
That is correct.
Okay, good.
December 12th this year.
December 12th. Deputy Chief, what would be the interagency role and all that stuff? Because I know when we got that something of high volume like that, high volume of people, you got tourism, you got public works, you got public safety, all three of those agencies working hand in hand.
Of course, we always work hand in hand with all the different agencies. However, which is a high priority, we try to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies to assist us in working in those, especially the downtown area. It's a high value area. However, besides the Miracle on Main Street, we also have this Uber Soca cruise, which is fairly right around the corner, which is going to also be a big event. Where we have the
on the 19th.
Yes, on the 19th, and we're actually planning, and we've been planning for that, and we're ready for that at this time, where we're going to have a parade from the Haven site dock area all the way to the Fort Christian parking lot and back. So I think the public will be able to join in on that, along with the persons on the cruise. But VIPD is going to be there in full force. We have several law enforcement individuals that are going to line the street along with traffic, special operations, just to make it a safe and fun event.
Now, on the St. Croix side, Deputy Chief, that's our time of the year, the Crucian Christmas Festival and all that stuff. I ain't gonna run from it. It used to be a true two-tongue thing. Now it's mostly one tongue with some events in Christiansted. When we grew up, we had the rotation, right? Children parade in one tongue, adult parade in the other tongue, and then we reverse it. Now we do everything in Frederickstead, which is cool. You get over it. We got a Crucian weekend in Christiansted, right? You got an event there, right? Have you been working with the Festival Committee?
We have. We basically,
and tourism and all that?
Yeah, we basically ready in terms of dates and whatnot. Like Juve is going to be on the 31st, along with the food fair. And so we're prepared. The parades, the 1st and the 2nd? So, yeah, the 1st and the 2nd, I believe that's what it is. Or the 2nd and the 3rd?
No, the parade.
2nd and the 3rd?
Yeah, it'll be the 2nd and the 3rd.
2nd and the 3rd.
So, Friday the 2nd, Saturday the 3rd?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. What about the booths and all that stuff? That's
Same parking lot.
Same parking lot?
Yeah, they're going to be utilizing. So we are already setting it up. We
Does the festival committee have a security committee that communicates with the police department?
Well, we've been communicating with them. We have weekly meetings. So we're preparing for the event as from the last, 2 months now? Yeah. So we're actually preparing for it. Okay. And we meet with them every week, literally. So we not only just discussing St. Croix events, but St. Thomas, Uber Soca. And so we've been communicating with them and just planning to get as safe as possible festival for our people here.
No, Chief Hodge, you're going to be sending over some of your finest from St. Thomas?
Of course.
To augment the police force here on St. Croix?
That is correct, sir.
Okay.
It's one police department, right? So when they
I
have
was waiting for him.
when they have event that they need additional manpower, we send, and so then you have to,
No,
do
she
the same.
just but she just threw me for a loop. Debbie, you call me sir?
Yeah.
You call me sir, Debbie? Seriously, Debbie? That's what we call to Debbie, sir?
It's force of habit. That's just how I speak.
Neville, I grant you permission, Neville. Okay, so we're good.
Okay, Neville.
Okay, and Chief Donna Stork, same thing. Okay, first name basis. I'm cool with that. Dun, 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 cool like that. You know what I'm saying? Cool like that, right? Look, how can we promote a positive image, Chief Hodge, about the Virgin Islands Police Department? What will we have to do to get the residents here in the territory and our visitors to feel confident? Because we're a consumer-driven economy, right? We're in the business of selling the Virgin Islands for the paradise that we know it to be, and people experience it when they get here for the first time. What can we do to actually, make that more foundational, so that when they coming from wherever they're coming from, they know that they're here, they're safe, and we have, what is necessary here, the requisite infrastructure, to satisfy how long they're going to be here for. And as John McCleverty always told me back in the day, they're coming to visit, and then when they come here, they fall in love and they want to live here. Talk a little bit about that perspective and that responsibility we have as Virgin Islanders.
Well, that perspective first has to come from us. I think how often they see us in a positive light, not just when in crisis, but just in other areas, just showing positivity is important. How often we speak to the people, how often, and us not looking at us as partners and not just enforcers. That's important. That it's going to take us as police officers doing more walkthroughs in neighborhoods, not just when there's a call for service, but walking through, getting to know the people in different communities, getting to know who the presidents of the neighborhood organizations are, having communication with businesses and business owners, just stopping in randomly, which is something that Deputy Chief Donnersberg and I do very often on St. Thomas, just random visits, just so they can. Well, it really started when we first started, so that they can know who we are, and we continue with it, checking up on those conversations that we had previously, especially if a concern was brought to our attention. Visiting schools, days when they have like maybe Grandfather's Day, maybe we could just pop in just to be part of their events. So those little small interactions is what people need to see from us, not just us highlighting arrests, but us highlighting the good things that we do by nature of what we do, because it's dual roles. Sometimes we arresting and sometimes we're saving almost simultaneously. It's kind of difficult for that image to remain positive, especially since we have the right to take away people's freedom, but the community has to help us as well. All the negative commentary when we do what we're supposed to do does not help. It seems as if you do good, it's a problem. You don't address a criminal act. It's a problem. And when you do, free my boy, free my friend. So it's really a challenging role for us as police officers, but we have to still highlight the good stories, and hopefully one person at a time, getting their attention, and not just us talking, also letting them talk to us, hearing their concerns and addressing them as we can, and
Which is the purpose for the town hall meeting.
Yeah. So let me get to that. But before we do that, the chief touched on something. Growing up, we literally knew police officers on a nickname basis.
True.
Right? Okay. One of my listeners actually texted me about Drummer Boy, right?
Who just passed away.
Yeah, right? And but we also had like Bones Morris and Polo Gittins, and we knew them. You know what I'm saying? It was just a different time, Chief Cornelius.
And they had the permission to whoop your butt.
Yeah,
So it was different.
Parents granted that.
Yeah.
That granted that
You see
ability
my child
to
doing
them.
something, you cut
know
his
what I'm saying?
backside.
Yeah, and then we'll get it when we get home.
Oh, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just a different time now, Chief Cornelius.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Definitely.
And we're not as close knit as a community as we once were.
Well, you'll
That's
be
just-
surprised. They still know we. They know us. I mean, I got little children calling me full mouth Naomi. I say, hey, I could be your grandmother. Check yourself. You put a miss or a police officer, something to that, because, that's how we raise.
Yeah.
So it's a little different now. They still know you, but the respectfulness that we grew up with is not necessarily there. But again, you got children raising children. They're trying to raise them differently than how they were raised, and that's what we have.
Give me the details for the town hall meetings, please.
Well, I will start it this way.
Yeah.
Again, as we go about each day, the deputy came to me and she said, Cornelius, with all what we're doing, I really think we should do a town hall. Let me bring the people together, hear their concerns, and see how we could fix one or two of them. And I said, well, that's a good idea when you want to do it. And everything just skyrocketed from there.
So what's the date?
This Friday.
The first one is this Friday.
This Friday, where at?
It's the Dorsch Center across from the Freds in Frederickson.
Okay.
From
That's
6
on Strand
o'clock.
Street, Frederickson.
Yeah, Strand Street,
Yeah.
Frederickson, from 6 to 8. And the second one, or the last one, will be at the amphitheater in Sunny Hills. Same time frame, 6 to 8.
And what date?
And that's on the 14th.
That's on the 14th. So
Yes.
this Friday and next week Friday?
Friday, yes.
Okay, good. You got any town hall meeting set up for St. Thomas, Chief Hodge or Deputy Chief Donna Stork? Or you working
We
on it?
do not. St. Croix is doing the first round, and then we will follow up with ours, but we don't have a date set as yet.
Okay. And we had town hall meetings earlier this year, right? A joint thing with
The legislature.
with the legislature, and WTJX was there
Right, that
providing
was,
support.
Senator Joseph.
Senator Joseph, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
We recently had some town hall in the Smith Bay area.
okay. And,
So-
and Commissioner Brooks was a part of that. Right?
No, it was actually Deputy Chief.
No, I was talking about the first one early in the year. Early in the year. I'm sorry about that. But
Right. So we were invited. They wanted us to talk about crime and where we were. So we came, we said what we had to say, but we felt like instead of it being somebody else's town hall, it's going to be ours. You come to talk to we.
Okay.
There's no hidden agenda. We ain't looking for no vote. We ain't looking for nothing. We want you to see us as your partners in fighting crime. Come and meet us so we talk to you.
This Smith Bay meeting went well. Deputy Chief Donna Stork. We lost him. Chief Hodge, the Smith Bay town hall meeting went well.
It went well, sir.
Okay, that's good.
Can you hear me? I don't know if you're hearing me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How it went, Deputy Chief?
Yes, the Smith Bay Town Hall went very well. We had a various community members from that small community that were there. They asked very prevalent questions, and which we were able to answer in reference to that. I think it was a good collaboration between an effort between the IPD and that specific community. We were able to help them out with different things that they need to do. So I think we had one on Water Island also, which was also very good.
That's good.
That we address the persons over there. However, we go nonstop. Before that, a couple of weeks ago, I was also in different schools. I was in Joseph Sibley School, where we communicate with the kids. I tend to go back to my youthful thoughts. My youthful thoughts as when I was a kid, when I saw police, I enjoyed when they came to the school. I enjoyed the K-9 unit. I enjoyed seeing the tactical unit. And I think that's a big target for us. So we go to the schools and we make you want the kids to glorify that. You want them to have those thoughts about police, wanting to be a police, and because nowadays you don't have that.
I want
that's
to thank.
one thing that right now we go back to that, and I think that's the route. We need to go back to the youths.
I want to thank the Virgin Islands Police Department for making time to join us this morning. Thank you, Chief Cornelius, Deputy Chief Joseph, Chief Hodge, Deputy Chief Donna Stork for joining us, and looking forward to talking with you again sometime in the future.
Thank
I
you.
have a great one.
Okay, first name basis, Chief Hodge. Okay, remember that going forward.
All right.
Yeah, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be back right after this.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters. The views
Politicians, ranchers, parents, athletes, activists, gardeners, writers, and lots more. Then listen along with you.
Weekend edition, Saturdays at 9 a.m. on WTJX FM 93.1, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands.
Have you ever tasted something that transported you to another world?
Ew, that's so legit.
I'm Chef Yavang. That's what I aim to do every time I cook.
This looks amazing.
As a Hmong refugee from Southeast Asia, I use food as a way to share my culture, my family, and our history. Join me as we step into the kitchen with local chefs to relish the cuisines and culture of our neighbors.
Tune in Saturdays at 3:30 p.m. on WTJX TV Channel 12.
Good morning. This is meteorologist Russ Murley with your WTJX local forecast for Thursday, the 6th of November. Sunshine, partly sunny at times today with isolated showers, middle to upper 80s, east to southeast winds at 5 to 15. We'll see a few clouds, isolated showers, 78 to 82 tonight. Sunshine, partly sunny at times with a risk of afternoon showers tomorrow, middle to upper 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. There's a continued chance of showers, nighttime lows near 80. Looking forward to Saturday, partly sunny with spotty showers, temperatures middle to upper 80s. Rip current risk will increase the next few days. Coming up, Rita is left heartbroken after Pedro's announcement on Velvet tonight at 9 p.m. on WTJX TV, Channel 12.
WTJX 93.1 Charlotte Amalia, your NPR station in the Virgin Islands.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
Here on Analyze This, and I want to thank the Virgin Islands Police Department for joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. Don't forget, they got Town Hall meeting at the Door Center this Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's on Strand Street, down in Frederickston, actually the top of Strand Street there by the marketplace, the fish market down there. And then next week, Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. over at the Sunnyale Amphitheater, okay? Police Department reaching out to communicate with the community, right? So we're good for that. We appreciate that. Now we're going to transition to the RT Park. They got some new big shots. Down there, pull that microphone a little closer, if you will. And also, we're joined by Sydney Powell here as well. She's been a voice at the RT Park. Good morning, Sydney. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. Good to be here.
No doubt. So, young lady, introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning, and thank you so much for having us on the show, and so we can talk to your audience about the RT Park Community Impact Fund, which is a nonprofit organization that the RT Park formed in 2022.
And my name is?
And my name is, I will come into it, I will come into it.
No, because you don't went to you know what I mean?
No, I just, you said RT Park, so I wanted to be sure that, folks know that we're the RT Park Community Impact Fund, which is separate from the RT Park. The RT Park is our anchor partner. Okay, but good. Yes, people need to know who talking to them. I'm Dr. Pat Morris, native Virgin Islander. I'm the new executive director for the RT Park Community Impact Fund.
And we're going to get to the distinction.
Yes.
So you can break
Thank you, darling. Okay.
Young man?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us. My name is Akem Durand. I'm the new loan officer at the Community Impact Fund at the RT Park, and definitely happy to be here and glad we could have an opportunity to speak to people of the Virgin Islands.
No, make that distinction, because you're in with the RT Park, but you're with the RT Park. Break that down.
Sure. Yeah. So, morning again, everybody. The RT Park in 2020 or 2019, 2020, we were having conversations around how we can, create an impact in other ways, thinking about the nonprofit space and allowing us to even stretch further in how we reach the community. And through that, we had conversations around what's called, many people know, is the Virgin Islands Catalyst Fund. So the Catalyst Fund was created through legislation, through collaboration between the RT Park and several senators, to include Senator Novell Francis and some others. I believe Senator Kurt Viale was also very supportive of that, and we are super appreciative to the 34th legislature, I believe it was, for supporting us with that. So with the creation of the Catalyst Fund, there needed to be a space that fund could be managed and housed. So in order for the RT Park to do that, we created a nonprofit arm called the RT Park Community Impact Fund. And through that arm is where the Catalyst Fund, which provides flexible loans for small businesses and more established businesses to expand their businesses in several different ways. And with the success of that program, we knew that there was potential to do more, and started building out what the CIF is. So you'll hear me say CIF a lot, which is the acronym for Community Impact Fund. Trying to figure out how we expand that a bit more. The CIF has its own board. They have their own team. And over the last couple of years, we've been really focused on expanding that team so that they could stand alone and reach higher heights than the RT Park could do, supporting it as we were before. So we're really excited to have the new team here. But yeah, it's a totally separate organization. It has its own board. It has its own team. Executive Director Dr. Morris is the lead for that. And we at the RT Park are here to support them in any way that we can, getting the word out, supporting the businesses and small founders within the RT Park and outside the RT Park. I'll let Dr. Morris talk about this, but this is beyond just technology and knowledge-based companies where we're trying to reach. This is a community organization. So I just wanted to help make that distinction. And I don't know if Dr. Morris wanted to add more.
Which Morris you be?
I'm sorry?
Which Morris you be?
The best and number one Morris and St. Croix.
Honest?
Yes.
Bones Morris out of the West.
Ernest Bones Morris is my father. The late Ernest Bones Morris is my father. Yes, absolutely.
He was a mentor of mine.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
In the bowling alley.
In the bowling alley.
I was a young bowler. He believed in me more than I believed in myself.
Well, that's what we should actually be doing, right? Mm-hmm. So that young people all over the Virgin Islands can. I got a soft spot for Bones Morris. He got believe in me. That's fantastic.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he and Funji were best of friends.
Yes.
Two of them bands, they got to share the same ball. They might believe one year older than the other.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
so
it's a small world.
That's who I am. It's a small colored Virgin Islands world.
Yeah. So you went to school here?
Of course. I went to Clado Marco School in Frederickstead. I grew up in Harrigan Project, which isn't there anymore.
I want you to tell the public so the public knows that people, we have this habit of not realizing that greatness could come from anywhere.
Exactly.
Productivity could come from anywhere.
Exactly.
So that's why I want the story to be told so that it could be inspirational.
I graduated from Central High School and I was in the class of 77. And the class of 77, shout out to them. We like to say that we are the most accomplished class from Central High. But we're hoping that other classes will even go beyond where we did.
77? I don't remember who might have been in that class. No, because I went Central for 1 year now.
Okay.
The year that you graduate?
Yes.
I went Central last September.
Oh wow! So we just miss each other.
Yeah, but I won't strong enough to last. That to cycle me back to see it. That wasn't easy to deal with. But that was Mr. Ross days.
Yes,
and all
Mr.
that
Ross,
stuff.
exactly.
Willie King and Noel Blakey and that whole window.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good.
And then
Randy Macedon was your year or the year after? You would have had the Victorian at
I think the year after.
At 78,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, the year after. Then
Alban Jarvis and all of them.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
That group there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Those are the good old days, man.
They really were.
Yeah.
They really were.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to what was then the College of the Virgin Islands for a couple of years. And in fact, believe it or not, I was the first Calypso monarch in the Black History Month Calypso tent that we used to have at
CVI.
At CVI.
Yeah.
And then I actually, was the first woman to sing in the St. Croix Calypso tent.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
You broke ice and all that stuff. That's nice. You know the name come back to me. Aubrey Camacho on you.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Out of Shabota, no?
Yes.
See that again, you know what I'm saying? Another your checks.
Exactly.
The brain still functioning, you know what I mean? So that's cool.
Neville, I will tell you, I always say to people, I've worked all around the world. I've worked in 20 countries around the world.
Oh, yeah?
And I tell people all the time that, per capita, the Virgin Islands has the most, creative, accomplished people in the world. Because we know one another, we'd be like, oh, that's Neville, that's Patsy, you know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that, we are really very creative and accomplished people, and we need to acknowledge that more, and particularly so that the youth can see that, they can do it too,
I agree with that, yeah. Mr. Durand, give me some of your background. Tell me about yourself.
Thank you. And once again, thanks for being here. Appreciate you having us here. So my name is Akem Durand. I was, raised on St. Croix. My family's from Dominica, but I moved to St. Croix when I was 8 years old. Grew up in Williams Delight housing projects. Went to Arthur Richards, Evelyn M. Williams complex. Then I joined the military. Did the military thing for a while. Did missions all across the world, and then I came back and started working in the nonprofit space. So I've been in the nonprofit business side of things for about 11 years. It's kind of in my blood. I did that pretty much right after I got out of college and been doing it ever since. I run a company called Swift Capital Options, and we provide, financing for, business owners all across the U.S., anywhere from like, 200,000 to, 20 million. And then I got an opportunity to come back to the Virgin Islands and, work at the SIF, and decided to kind of bring all that knowledge that I've gained just from my experience out there in the world and working with, multi-million-dollar companies to take companies from a startup, to a, multi-million-dollar organization, and bring all that back here and to help develop something that can help to build a local economy, So, we're here to, work with small business owners, teach them all the tricks of the trade, and prepare them for greatness. But it's just an honor to be back home. And like you were saying, greatness comes from anywhere, and, being a kid, that, migrated to the U.S. Virgin Islands and, got a chance to be around the culture and grew up here. I've been all around the world myself. I never really lived in one place for more than a year just because of my, work and what I've done, but this is definitely home for me, and it's given me something that I can never really, as I became older, I started to grasp that a little bit more, but I think that St. Croix is like the Virgin Islands, it's like a pressure cooker, it builds you, and then once you go out into the world and you start to compete with other people, you start to realize that what you've gotten from being in a part of the Virgin Islands, and it's just great to be back, and like you said, that greatness definitely comes from this place. So
glad to have you back home.
Yes, sir.
Pat, when you were talking, Malik Siku said that he got told me that he's about Virgin Islands. He said, "Pong for pong, we could hold our own with anybody."
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, well, you are articulating that perspective from Dr. Siku. So that's what's the biggest issues facing the territory as it relates to community impact? And that's what the fund is all about, right? We want to tap into areas that we could actually, make, create opportunities, right, for people who live here in the Virgin Islands. When you look at this, by definition, what are you trying to create with the Community Impact Fund?
Thank you for that question. Yeah, I firmly believe that strong local businesses build strong communities, right? And the Community Impact Fund and board is really committed to building a vibrant socioeconomic ecosystem in the Virgin Islands. We know that local businesses are the ones that actually power the community economy, right? But what we also find is that even though many of these businesses have been in existence for years and years, they are not getting the funding and the technical assistance that they need, to grow, to develop, and to be, more sustainable, right? And so our mission is to be able to, accompany local entrepreneurs, local, micro businesses, local small businesses, as they grow and as they develop, right? And to provide the technical assistance that they need to be loan ready, to provide the loan funds, when they become loan ready, to provide the business advisory services, once they receive the loans, so that they can, actually, realize, the plans that they have, right? And that's particularly why, and I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, that we decided that out of the door as our first, major program, and Akem and I have been on the job for 2 months. Yeah.
Sorry, infancy.
Yes, yes. But even though we're in our infancy, we have a big vision.
That's good.
And so we have established, and I want to give Akem all the credit because it was his idea, but I loved it and we've run with it, the Crucian Christmas Festival Microloan program.
Okay.
Because we feel that, community for us in the Virgin Islands is culture, And, the bulk of our businesses are tied, to these cultural events and activities that we have. And they are also the entrepreneurs and businesses that are not getting the kind of, credit and support that they should. And so we wanted people to know that the Community Impact Fund is here, that this is our focus, right? And so we established the Crucian Christmas Festival Microloan Program to let people know that, we are here for them and we plan to be long-term partners. And just so, in case, our brothers and sisters over in St. Thomas and St. John are wondering, next year we will also be doing a similar program for Carnival and for Emancipation Day celebrations in St. John.
That's good. Now, Mr. Durand talked about why nonprofits are important. The government can't do everything.
Yeah. I definitely think nonprofits are important because, we're more community-based. We want to work with small business owners. We want to find out what's going on. We're typically, boots on the ground. We're hearing the stories directly from the business owners and from, the people out on the streets. And, we have the ability to have a little bit more impact by being a nonprofit. I've been in the nonprofit space, for a very long time. Worked at a CDFI in Raleigh, North Carolina myself. And just to be able to see the impact that, that we have on business owners is just phenomenal. And, I definitely recommend anybody that gets a chance to be a part of a nonprofit definitely should do that, even through volunteering.
Ms. Paula, nonprofits have always been an extension of the RT Parks mandate and platform.
I wouldn't say that it was a part of the mandate, but I think that the culture around the RT Park and our team, many of us within the team at the RT Park are a part of nonprofits in some form or another, support nonprofits. And I think that speaks to our community mindset. Like Dr. Morris said, community is culture here. So we, separately, our values around supporting community and being a part of nonprofits within our own communities, we've brought that into the RT Park. And I think that's what helps drive the ideas and innovation that we see around how we can support community and that's also what came, how the SIF was born as well. So I think it's just ingrained in us, not necessarily part of our mandate, but we don't need it to be a part of our mandate. I think that's just something that we feel is important and critical to just making sure that the economy is moving well. Nonprofits are a part of the success of your economy. It's not just a social support that you're doing, but it helps businesses as well. So this is a core part of the work that we do.
We're talking with Dr. Patricia Morris, Mr. Akem Durand, and Sidney Paul. They represent the UVI RT Park Community Impact Fund, promoting the Crucian Christmas Festival Microloan program. I also got Sidney Paul here from the RT Park as well. We'll take a break and be back right after this. And we're back here at Analyze This. We've got the good people from the Community Impact Fund and Ms. Sidney Paul from the RT Park joining us. We got Pat Morris and Akem Durand here in the studio. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Ms. Morris, this doctor Richard got, tell me about that there.
Yes, certainly. I have a PhD in international politics from the Florida State University.
Tallahassee?
In Tallahassee.
Yeah.
Yes. And
international politics.
International politics, yes. So
that's a big thing now, though.
It's been a big thing for a long time. Actually, when I was in high school, I thought I would become an attorney, but I took my first course at Jacksonville University, where I got my bachelor's degree.
Oh yeah.
Okay. In international affairs, and I was bitten or smitten, if you will, and I haven't looked back. So I ended up being both a university professor and doing international development work. And so I've worked with many international relief and development organizations, as I said, around the world in 20 countries, doing inclusive development work, basically, making sure that women and girls and youth and people with disabilities are fully integrated into the development programs and the relief programs, and that they benefit from those programs. So I work with lots of nonprofits. I work with a organization which is a coalition of international nonprofits called Interaction. So, groups like CARE, World Vision, Save the Children were all members, and, work to build their capacity to be able to integrate, gender and social inclusion in their work.
Is Jacksonville as pretty up close as it looks on TV?
Yes, it's large. It's a very, it's one of the largest cities area-wise,
Physically.
Physically. Yeah.
I used to watch that golf tournament there every year.
Really?
The Players Championship. They play that in an area called Ponte Vedra. And I've always said, if I run into a whole bit of money, I want I can do up there.
Oh, okay.
It looks so, they got Island Green.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when I see that, I said, and Glenwood Charles.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He lived there for a lot of years.
Yes, exactly.
You know
Exactly.
So good morning, Dr. Charles. You know what I'm saying? You are shout out and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's a lovely place.
Get cold in the winter there?
It does. Well, at least for me.
Because that's
because it's North Florida.
Northern Florida.
Yeah. You got to go way south if it's going to be, hot, for the 365.
When I in college, January 86. University of Miami, 35 degrees one night, January night. In Miami,
In Miami.
And I was like, what going on in this place? You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine 5 hours up the way.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it could get nippy up there.
Yeah, I left from UVI and I went to Jacksonville University, and I was like, the first call I made home was, it cold up here. Because it was January.
Yeah, you didn't in New York. You're still in Florida and you're still balling. That's good.
Exactly.
So Durand, where you went to school at? After you left, you went straight into the force?
Yeah, straight into the force.
Straight into the force?
Yeah.
Or you left Complex?
Yeah, I left Complex.
Yeah.
I was a soccer player at Complex.
Okay.
And I didn't really.
So VLA was the principal then at the time when you graduated?
That's right. Yeah, 2008. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a soccer player at Complex. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I got done with high school, but a recruiter came to our soccer game, and my friend was actually supposed to join the Air Force. He was supposed to just give me a ride home, and so I got the opportunity to sit down with a recruiter, and we talked about different opportunities in the Air Force, and then like a month later after I graduated, I was flying out to basic training. So just decided to take the leap and do that. Yeah. But then after I got done with the military, did the military thing for about 4 years. I was in Texas, Germany.
When you were going to school here, that Yankee twang, you used to talk like that when you were in high school?
a little bit of both. I just feel like I bounce around so much in life. I just, pick up, so many different, just experiences, So
no, you articulate well. I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
And I think it actually is it's an attribute that allows you to communicate with people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could talk the local twang when need be. And then you could back up some people when you're talking that corporate jargon to let them know, don't take me for granted. You know what I'm saying? I could talk your language too. You know what I'm saying? So,
if I talk it to mommy or daddy, I gotta talk like this. It's a respect thing,
Oh, so that's
for sure.
That's cool. So you lived in the Research Triangle area? Well, you mentioned Raleigh.
Yeah, Research Triangle Park in Raleigh. Yeah. So there's a RT Park in Raleigh as well, and that's what I was like, man, there's a RT Park down here in St. Croix. So that's pretty cool, and so I did RT Park out there.
So what did you do after the Air Force?
After the Air Force, I did my last deployment. I was in the Middle East for a little bit, doing some stuff out there, and then I said, man, I think I'm done. I'm done with this. So I ended up going to a HBCU, Shaw University.
At the Shaw?
Yeah,
okay.
Shaw Beer, and then the head of the business department put me in contact with a group from the Carolina Small Business Development Fund, which is the first job I had out of college. And that's what kind of got me into small business. And, they taught me the ropes. I mean, I learned, from processing, analysts, underwriting, had my own underwriting team for a while, managed the entire pipeline. of businesses out there. So I got to get firsthand experience of what does it mean to be a CDFI and the impact that we're having on folks. Sometimes we're the only people that they got. So,
what's the Dr. Morris? What's the biggest? Well, no, I don't use the word biggest. What's the most important aspect that a small business, someone who wants to get into entrepreneurship, what's the most important priority that you could stress on them getting into business?
I think the most important thing is I think first you have to have a really good idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing business, you want to be sure that the area that you want to get into, or the products you want to sell, or the services you want to sell, that there's a demand for it, right? After that, then you need to have a plan. You really need to have a really good plan, all right?
So the area research is important then?
Yes, exactly. You
Ain't just a name and all that stuff. You literally need to do your research to find out if what you're venturing into is viable.
Exactly. Because you can have, there are lots of great ideas out there, but they don't go anywhere because there isn't a demand, there isn't an interest. Now, there are lots of different ways marketing people will tell you that you can create demand, and so it's important, as you say, to do the research to see, well, how can you do that? If you're really, want to do something that it may not seem on the surface that there's a demand. And then where lots of businesses get into, have constraints is in terms of being able to have access, to credit and to capital, right? And so, it also is important to ensure that you get your finances in order. You know what I mean? And sometimes people are like, I want to do my business and I want to do it now, but my credit bad. Then work on fixing your credit, because credit scores can change, if you do the right things, right? And so being able to have access to credit is important. But the reason why the Community Impact Fund exists is because we also know that even for some, entrepreneurs, they may have, a good credit score, but they're not able to get, the funding from the local banks, and we want people to know that that's why the Community Impact Fund is here, so that we can work with you, because we are community focused, in a way that may not be the case for some other potential funding institutions.
I see you're shaking your head a lot with everything Ms. Morris says. You want to dovetail on what she was talking about?
For sure. I think all the points that she hit were, definitely important. Having a passion for what you do is going to be key, because that's going to sustain you through all of the difficult times. And I'm an entrepreneur myself, or I run a business myself, so I know how difficult that is. That passion that you have for what you do that's that fire that's going to carry you through all those tough times, those ups and downs, where you're thinking, man, should I be doing this? Or, you hit a major obstacle and it's like you're looking up and it's like, that's going to carry you through that. And then I think also, just not giving up on what you want to be, what you believe in, getting up every day and being consistent about what you do. And you never know when you're going to hit that gold mine, so you ever see like the memes and the people are digging and they stop right before they hit the gold. That's really how it is, so I would say, along with the financial acumen and, having your financials and financial over, make sure you're passionate about what you do. And also, don't give up. You never know when that next big break's going to be there. And that's important.
Ms. Paul, I'm going to bring you back into the conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
We got so many different entities created via local law, federal law, to try to stimulate small business development, right? You got the SBA, which is the umbrella, right? That's the big one, even though some of them are not connected to the Small Business Administration, but that's the one we know. We got the Small Business Development Council, right? Center. Is it center or council? With Ms. Jones.
Council.
Yeah, that's SPDC.
SPDC.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We got EDA.
Mm-hmm.
They have a number of different programs that they used to come out here, and they promote. And then you got the RT Park, which is looked at as a potential engine, a catalyst for further economic development here in the Virgin Islands. Now, you mentioned the CDFI?
CDFI.
And that acronym is?
Community Development Financial Institution.
Okay, good. Break that one down as we deal with all these acronyms that we're dealing with here today. What's the CDFI?
The CDFI, the Community Development Financial Institutions, is
by the way, when I watch, I could just see bones.
You can see
oozing out of you this morning. Every time I watch, I don't go look off because I just watch your bones, Morris, in your face. You know what I mean? So don't hold it against me, please.
I am holding it against you. I am very proud of my heritage and my father.
Great athlete, though. You mentioned that great athlete out of the West.
Yes. And the number one Grand Floor Master, Carla Focodrill.
We didn't tell me that. Casey Kendall Henry tell me that.
Yes.
He said, Bones, I said, Bones, you to tell you come off the floor if you know what you're doing.
Exactly. Yes.
So CDFI, let's talk
so CDFI, you actually get certification to be a CDFI from the Department of Treasury in the U.S. government.
Okay.
And so it is one of the goals that the Community Impact Fund has for ourselves is to become certified, right? It opens up doors for, capacity building, for funding, for, larger recommendation, recognition, to be able to even do like SBA loans and those kinds of things. And so, our goal, right, is to become a CDFI. And we are in the process of, completing an assessment to let us know where we are and what are the other things we need to do. So hopefully when the Treasury opens back up, registration, applications, because they're kind of closed now, we would be ready, to apply. And one of the things that is important about becoming a CDFI and why our board wanted the Community Impact Fund to become a CDFI is because it is mission focused and community focused, right? And so it is very much in line with the vision that we have for the role that we want the Community Impact Fund to play in the community. And I agree with you that there are a number of entities, that are all charged with economic development, for the Virgin Islands. But economic development for the Virgin Islands is in one lane. There are many lanes, right? And so we're in one lane and, the other organizations are in other lanes. There will be times when we will work together, and I can tell you that, as far as I'm concerned as the executive director for the Community Impact Fund, we believe in partnerships because we really feel that partnerships is what actually fuels innovation, fuels growth, fuels sustainability. And so we are, reaching out, to organizations to be able to partner with us, in the mission that we have.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Morris, there isn't a CDFI in the Virgin Islands yet.
There isn't, and we will be the first one from my mouth to God's ear.
Want to piggyback on that? Because I see you nodding your head again in agreement.
I think Dr. Morris and I are very much in alignment on the mission of the CIF and everything we want to accomplish within the Virgin Islands. I think that CDFIs are important because, we're not tied to a lot of the restrictions of the bank. Banks are holding to their, to their shareholders. And for us, it's for the community. We are here for the community and we're here to build, strong businesses for the community. And being part of CDFIs, we have the leeway and the flexibility to go out there and do the work. And Dr. Morris is right. We are here to partner with our local banks, with the EDA, with the SBA to see if there are any shortfalls, any gaps that we can come in and fund. If there are businesses that are having a hard time getting funded, we want to work with them because I believe that we have to do this together, so partnerships are important and being a part of a CFI just gives us the flexibility to go out there and do the work for the people.
We're talking with Dr. Pat Morris out of the West.
Yes, right.
Mr. Akem Durand out of the West.
That's right.
Me and Cindy Paul gonna hold things down from out of Christian.
That's right. That's right.
No, just having fun. You know, when we come back from the break, I want to talk about the Microloan program.
Yes.
Right? And if you name the Crucian Christmas Festival Microloan program, assumption is the mother of a lot of bad things. But I would assume it has to be connected to the Crucian Christmas Festival?
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form?
Absolutely.
Right? It ain't just a cosmetic name, right? There has to be some kind of connection.
Yes.
Right? And as you stated, you're looking forward to doing the same thing for Carnival.
Yes.
In April, and then Emancipation, hopefully.
Yes.
Come July 3rd next year. This is awesome. Right? I'm glad that you have that you mentioned culture. And you didn't just talk. You mean it. You know what I'm saying? So when we come back, we're going to talk about that capacity and all that stuff, how people can access it, and what have you. We got Bones Morris, Dr. Pat Morris from out to the West here this morning, along with Akem Durand and Sidney Paul from the RT Park. And we're talking with the new executive leadership of the UVI RT Park Community Impact Fund. Be back right after this. And we're back here. Analyze this, joined this morning by Sidney Paul from the UVI RT Park, Dr. Pat Morris, and Mr. Akem Durand, executive leadership with the Community Impact Fund. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
To you distinguished Virgin Islanders. How did we capitalize the microloan program? How did that happen?
We actually, earlier this year, the Community Impact Fund received a grant from an anonymous donor for about $3.5 million.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you, anonymous donor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And, that is, what has allowed the Community Impact Fund to bring on new leadership and, to roll out our programs. And like I said, Akem and I have been on for 2 months, and our first thing out of the door, in addition to the Catalyst Fund and the VI Leap Fund that are there for larger businesses, we wanted to do something for the smaller local businesses that are tied, to our culture. And so that is why we developed the Crucian Christmas Festival Microloan program. And we are offering loans for, entrepreneurs, micro businesses, small businesses that are getting ready for the festival season, their businesses really rely on the festival for, the bulk of their income, right? And so this loan program is for them. And they can, the microloans range from $2,000 to $15,000. And Akem can really talk more about, what we're looking for in terms of, the application, which people can, apply online at www.cifvi. That's cifvi.org. But Akem can talk more about the requirements.
But before we do that, let's talk about the importance and the generosity of philanthropy.
Yes.
Because you just mentioned an anonymous donor, and we don't want to minimize how critical, valuable that philanthropy, that giving aspect, which allows for the program to actually exist and all that stuff.
Thank you so very much. Because that is quite important. And when you are doing good things, people who have resources see that, and they are willing to contribute, right? And so it's important for us, as we have come to lead the organization, to do the work in such a way that we can show impact, right? So that we can continue to attract, additional donors who want to be partners, in really shoring up the socioeconomic viability, of the Virgin Islands. We have so much potential, and this is a place that people come, they see, they love, and they want to support.
Is there a built-in cap in terms of when somebody, for every dollar they donate, 80 or 90% goes into investing and whatever percentage is for administrative purposes, which would allow for you to show those who are willing to give that we ain't just here to be snatching money and all that stuff. We want to reinvest.
Absolutely. And I think the grant that we received, maybe not even a good 20%,
doing the math.
Of the resources.
$3.5 million.
Yeah.
If you take for every 10%, that's $350,000, right? So if we were to set aside 20% of that for administrative purposes to hire the Morrises and the Durands of the world, that means the other $2.8 million is for investment.
And that's exactly how it's been split. That's what I was going to say. It was about 20% that is for operations, because we are, we're almost, and we also are kind of like a startup in a sense. You know what I mean? But my goal is for us to actually reduce that over time, right? That is why it's going to be.
The program is working.
Exactly, right? But there is a clear distinction between the funds that are in the loan portfolio versus the funds that are operational, right? So there's no way that we're going to go, we need more money for new staff, and we're going to pull it from the loan fund. No, the loan fund is the loan fund, and operations are operations. And that's one of the reasons I think why the board said, we're going to bring in Dr. Morris to do this, because I have experience working with nonprofits. And they want someone who is going to ensure that we follow the standard operating procedures, because donors want to see that. I can tell you, they want to see.
They just give him because it's took you away. They want to know that what we give in, there's actually a return on their giving.
Exactly.
On their investment.
Exactly. And that we're doing it the right way.
So we're good with that.
Excellent.
Yeah. Sir?
Yeah, I mean, specific towards that point, the funds going towards operations. A lot of us that come down here, Dr. Morris, myself, we've held multiple positions. So, we're really capitalizing on those funds for administrative purposes really well, because a lot of us are doing like 3 and 4 jobs within the SIP. That just shows our commitment to what we're doing and trying to keep the budget for administrative, purposes very low, and making sure the funds are going out there to the people. So as far as the Crucian Christmas Festival loan program, we really designed that program to get the money out the door as quickly as possible. We understand some of the difficulties we have here in the Virgin Islands as far as getting paperwork out and getting the right documentation. So we made it very document light. Typically what we're looking at is 2024 tax returns. And then we want to hear your story. We want to hear your background. Hey, tell me about your business. Tell me about your industry experience. We're going to look at the credit score, and if everything scores correctly, then we try to get the money funded out. Typically, we're saying about 15 days to get from the first time you apply to when the money goes out the door. But we're moving a lot quicker than that right now. It's anywhere between 5 to 7 business days. When we specifically designed that program to move like that, a lot of times within certain lending institutions, it takes a long time to get the money out the door, and 1 week, 2 week can make or break a business, for many different reasons.
And I think it would be great for Akem to say something about the repayment, process, because I know listeners are, going to want to know about that.
Yeah. So how we design the repayment process is, say we get the money out on November, you won't have your first payment until 3 months later. So say, for example, you're a booth owner, you need $5,000 to buy inventory for the season. You're going to make $20,000 from that, right? So first 3 months while you're getting stuff ready, and then you're kind of going through the festival season, there's no payments. After the 3rd month, you pay back your $5,000, you pocket your $15,000, right? Now, if there's certain situations, we've also realized that business owners might run into issues during their festival. So after the 3 months is up, and say you need a restructure, we can restructure those funds into, say, anywhere between a 2 to 5 year term at 6%. So we're still keeping it low monthly payments to try, because the main focus is to help the entrepreneurs, and we understand that things happen throughout the season. Obviously, we want to get the money back so we can get the money out to other business owners. That's the goal. But we do understand from our experience working in the industry that things do happen. So we also want to create a secondary, form, a way that individuals can pay back. And the goal is, hey, if you pay this money back, next year, your priority for the next season. So we want to incentivize our clients to repay.
But what I noticed, because I like to do a little bit of math. I think Sydney, that having worked in the office, right? 2 to 15,000. Are you really trying to help a lot of people?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Because I just doing the math in my head. If let's use 2.5 million, right, as the loan money, the available loan money, right? You get the whatever you got from the anonymous donor, the philanthropist, right? You've decided, okay, we're gonna set aside 2.5 million, and if you're sealing. Dr. Morris,
I want to jump in. I want to jump in so that we could get the math right, right? Yeah. For the Crucian Christmas Festival, we have a pocket of $250,000 that we're going to be giving.
That's what I'm talking
right?
about.
And then, we would probably do the same amount pocket for St. Thomas Carnival, right?
That answers my question.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That answers my question, right?
Yes.
But because that's what I'm saying. Because if the entire amount, right, was available, then you were eligible for 150, 200 loans, even if you use the max number of 15,000 for every loan.
Which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And at some point in time, we expect to grow to get to that point. Yes.
But no, you just answered the question. What you're saying is you've dedicated X portion of money for this particular microloan program. And then you're going to do the same thing for April, right, in St. Thomas, and then Emancipation, then the process starts itself over again. So, okay, so now that answers everything. Not good.
Yeah. And in addition to that, I mean, we also have, we still have resources from the Catalyst Fund, which is a, different, structured, loan program. And now you can get, that's for established businesses, and they can get up to $250,000. And then the VI Leap, which the Crucian Christmas Festival loan is part of the VI Leap fund. That is for, primarily, small businesses, local small businesses in the Virgin Islands. And same thing up to 250. Yeah. So, the loan funds that we have are split, into the different programs, if you will.
You want to chime in here, Madam Marketer?
Well, I'm glad that Dr. Morris said the amount that they've allocated for the Crucian Christmas Festival, because I knew that you were going to do the math. So I'm glad that she gave you the exact numbers.
Yeah, because we could get a lot of loan for $2,000 a pop out of $250,000.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. Like Akem said, we're trying to get the money out on the streets as quickly as possible, because we understand the challenges that many of the village vendors, the food fair vendors, these are the types of people that we're trying to reach out to, because we understand, especially right now, is very challenging economic times. And we have that thought at the forefront when we're having these conversations at the RT Park, at SIF, and I want to also give a shout out and credit to Akem, because this was his idea. And I think it was such an innovative idea, a novel idea that we haven't seen before. And I know that we're going to talk about this at some point, but I do want to recognize the Department of Tourism, who's been incredible partner with us so far on this particular program. Commissioner Matarangas King, Mr. Turnbull, Ian Turnbull, who's the head of Division of Festivals. We've had conversations with them. They are really excited about this. They've connected us directly with the vendors. They understand how critical this program can be for vendors this season, so they're on board. And like Dr. Morris said, partnerships are really important to us. So we're so happy to begin this partnership with Department of Tourism and see it grow. So I just wanted to shout out Commissioner Matarangas King and her team as well.
Yes, thank you very much for saying that. We were so excited. We sent a message to the commissioner, and she wrote back right away. Less than 48 hours, we were meeting with the whole division of festivals. We have agreed on a partnership that is going to go beyond the Crucian Christmas Festival, but to all of the other festival celebrations, as well.
Emancipation Weekend, that's St. John. St. John got celebration.
That's what we're talking about. Our focus is St. John for Emancipation.
Okay,
yes,
good,
absolutely.
Good. Now, when you mention LEAP, right? Even though it's separate and apart, me and you know what they say, right? Fletcher pens them up in the hill, mahogany, cutting that, you know what I'm saying? So I am a big proponent of what they used to do back then. So since you're in the business of wanting to promote entrepreneurship, think about that there.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Clearly, because Kyle Fleming, he used to work with, he's the energy office director.
Okay.
He done thing, and they used to make chessboard and all kind of thing out of mahogany, things like that. So that's small business again. That's just me.
Absolutely.
That's throwing things after. We have to protect St. Croix Leap because that mahogany is valuable.
Yes, it is.
You were here after Maria, right?
No, I wasn't.
You came after? When we were here, when the hurricane hit, had so much mahogany on the road. I wish I had a big truck to just pick up mahogany and throw it in the back of the truck. Check, and we need to. Those are the businesses, small businesses like that I think we need to, see if we can help.
And that's exactly what we're focusing on. If you look at our website and everything, we talk about artisans as being one of, the potential entrepreneurs, for our work. Our website is www.cifvi Community Impact Fund VI.org.
Okay, good. A telephone number? Right now?
We are waiting for our phone to be installed. They were supposed to come yesterday, but they didn't make it.
You can call the RT Park?
Yeah.
Yes, you could call the RT Park.
Until then, they could call the RT Park, which is 340-474 0922. And the SIF just also, I'm going to be a marketer right now because that's my job. The SIF, yes, the SIF has a Facebook page as well. So you can search RT Park Community Impact Fund on Facebook. They're sharing as much information about the programs as possible there as well.
It was a pleasure, Bones. Dr. Pat Morris.
My pleasure as well.
Henry, you're going to hook up.
Yes,
okay?
I will. I will.
Tahira, brother.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you here, Akem, and of course, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks
for joining me this morning. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having us.
Very informative. Looking forward to talking with you again.
Sure.
You got it.
Okay.
That's Dr. Pat Morris, Akem Durand, both of them out of the West, Sidney Paul, talking about the Community Impact Fund. Be good and be safe.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect those of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.